Good afternoon, everyone. So, in this video, we are going to discuss about laws affecting engineers. That is labor law, sales tax, VAT, service tax, excise duty. So, we are going to discuss about this one. So, in the starting, we are going to discuss about the various labor law. So, in this one, we have collected this file where all the labor's law related to our industry or construction industry is given here. So you have Employees PF Act, that is 1952, State Insurance Act 1948, Factories Act, Industrial Dispute Act, Payment of Bonus, Payment of Gratuity, Payment of Wages, Maternity Benefit, Minimum Wages, Employees Compensation, Contract Labor, Industrial Employment. So all these acts have been discussed in this one. Okay. The first one is Employees Provident Fund Act. So in this one you need to understand what is the main objective, what is the applicability, who are eligible, that's all, who are eligible, and later on what are the benefits of this act. Within this concept only you need to understand this one. What is the rate, what is the current rate, that you should not worry about all those things. Okay, how much owner is going to pay, if any infringement happens, if any not obeying of this law happens, what is the penal provision, what is the penal provision, that you need to remember those things. Okay, in the beginning, what is the main objective of this EPF Act? What is the main objective of this Employees Provident Fund Act? Main objective is, it is to provide the terminal benefits to the workers on the completion of their employment. After their employment completion, they are going to get the benefits. Who is applicable? Applicability: all factories or all establishment which have 20 or more persons, can be registered under this EPF Act. Okay. Now eligibility. What are the persons are eligible for here? The person is having 6,500 basic salary is going to eligible for that one, and there will be contribution from employee side also and contributions from the employee also. So each are going to have a contribution of 12% each, and government is going to give the interest on 1.16% for this one. Okay, so this is a table showing how much is the share between this one and central government. All those things are there. This is just for additional information. Now, what are the benefits of this act, EPF Act? What is the benefit? They can withdraw the accumulated amount. They can withdraw the accumulated amount with interest on exit from the employment. After the exit from the employment, with interest they can withdraw. Sometimes in an emergency such as marriage, education, housing, so they can have advance for emergency condition. And also they can get to the pension to the employees under employee pension scheme, and also they will get what, insurance. They will also get insurance under employees deposit linked insurance scheme. So these are some of the benefits for employee pension, employee EPF fund. Okay, so here these are some of the interest rates if any delay is there. Interest rates if any delay occurs, can just go through that one. Penal provision: if that factory or the company is not paying, then what is the penal or the punishment from the government? So here, for the first time, imprisonment up to 3 years and 10,000 fine. If repeated mistakes are there, then imprisonment up to 5 years and 25,000 will be the fine. What are the benefits? Very important objective: all the workers under Employees Act, they will get the terminal benefits on the quitting of their employment, and they will get withdrawal at the interest with interest, advances for emergency situation, they will get insurance, they will get pension. These are the benefits of this one. Okay. The next act which is going to apply for labor laws, Employees State Insurance Act 1948. Okay, Employees State Insurance. So the word here is insurance. Insurance means what? If anything happens which is not good for employee or employer, some benefit from the insurance provider will be guaranteed. So what is the object of this act? To provide the social insurance for the employees, the workers who are working, they will get the insurance. Applicability: any company or any activity where 10 or more persons are working, any activity or any area or a factory where 10 or more persons are working, or establishments which have 20 or more persons. Okay, who are getting the coverage? Who are getting the coverage? The persons who are having 15,000 up to 15,000 wages, they are going to get cover. They are going to get the cover from this one. So what is the contribution? What is the contribution? So employer contribution is more, 4.75%. Employees will be 1.75% of the wages, 1.75% of their wages. Wages, they up, if it is 100 rupees, then employer has to pay 4.75 rupees, employee has to pay 1.75 rupees. Okay, so up to this one they will get. So every 21st of the month, it has to be paid in the prescribed form. It has to pay in the prescribed, to whom? To whom? Okay, to the insurance company, Okay, so what benefit they are going to get? The benefits under this act are medical, sickness, extended sickness, any medical benefit, okay, dependent maternity, besides funeral expenses, rehabilitation allowance, everything is going to be covered here. So what is the wage? What does the wage includes here? So we are told no, 4.75% of the wage, 1.75% of the wage. Wage include basic pay, DA, HRA, city allowance, overtime wages, payment for the day. Like this, there are so many classification. You can just go through this one. Okay, wages include all these things. Okay. Now generally contribution made as a 6 months. Okay, contribution period 1st April to 30th September means what? 4 to 6 months, and again 7 to 3 months. Okay, 7 to 3 months. October to March, April to September. Like this, 2 times they are going to pay. Okay, so if any if they are not following this act, what is the penal provision? Penal provision means what? For any contraventions, means what? If they are not following, what is the punishment from the government side or the court side? Okay, so first case it will be 2 years imprisonment and 5,000 fine. In the second time or third time repeated, 5 years of imprisonment and up to 25,000. So the employer's responsibility to get deducted it from their wages, and it has to be filled to the insurance. It has to be filled to the insurance. Okay, so objective is to provide the social insurance. First thing, all the employees where 10 or more persons are working, okay, or establishments where 20 or more persons are working. So 4.75 share, 1.75 share from the employee. Okay, 4.75 employee share is 1.75%. So they will get medical benefits, sickness, extended health sickness, okay, maternity benefit, everything it is covered under this one. Next important act, that is Factories Act 1948. Very important. After the independence, when India got the independence, then the condition of the laborers or the conditions of the workers was very bad. So that is why government implemented this act. This act forces the companies or the factories to give at least some working, very good, healthy conditions for the workers. Okay, so that is the aim of this act. So what is the applicability? Any manufacturing company where power is used, 10 or more workers are there. Any manufacturing company where 20 or more persons are working, where power is not used. If power is used, 10 persons are there, then the Factory Act will be implemented like that. Okay, you can just say where 10 or more persons are working, a factory can be implemented with this Factory Act. Okay, so what is actually here? In this one, according to Factories Act, employer or the factory owner should give preference to this. Cleanliness, disposal of waste, ventilation, overcrowding should be avoided, drinking water facility should be provided. What are the safety measures to be given to the workers? What are the safety measures? Where should be given? Where facing the machinery is there, working near the machinery is there, young persons should not be employed for the dangerous machines. Okay, self-acting machines are there, suitable casing should be provided. Okay, women and children should not be allowed to cotton openers. Hoist lifts are there, they should you should take safety measures. And it will describe, this act will explain about the working hours. So weekly hours should not be more than 48 hours. Okay, 48 hours. So if you consider one holiday and 6 working day, it should be 8 working hours. It should be 8 working hours, includes 1 hour lunchtime, includes 1 hour lunchtime. So each day it will be having 9 hours. So daily hours is 9. Okay, at least half an hour break for continuous 5 hours, half an hour break for working for 5 hours. Okay, overlapping is not at all allowed here. Okay, if overtime is there, double payment, then the normal rate should be allowed. And women should not be employed beyond 7 p.m, beyond 7 p.m. These are some of the working hours stipulation. And some welfare measures are listed here. What are the welfare measures? Washing facility, storing and drying, sitting facility, first aid appliances, canteen facility, shelters. Okay, if welfare office should be provided if the workers numbers are more than 500. These are the welfare measures should be given for that one. Okay, so here for young persons there is separate thing. Okay, below 14 years should not be employed, prohibition of employment below 14 years. 15 to 18 years of age is allowable only for normal condition, only for normal condition. Okay, so annual leave at the rate of 1 day for every 20 working day, annual working day, annual leave at the rate of 1 leave per 20 days. Okay, that is also allowed. And what is the penal provision? For first time 7 years of imprisonment and 2 lakhs fine. See the amount, very high. Okay, 2 lakh fine. And continuous contraventions, so 10-year imprisonment or 5,000 rupees per day fine. 5,000 rupees per day fine is implemented here. Okay, this is about Factories Act. Factories Act is mainly for to improve or the betterment of working conditions of the laborers or the workers there. Okay, to give medical facility, canteen facility, shelter facility. Okay, and safety precautions at the machineries. Okay, these are the important points under Factories Act 1948. The next act, Industrial Dispute Act 1947. What is the main objective of this act? Industrial Dispute Acts is there because when in an industry, when there is a dispute between the employer or owner and the workers, when dispute comes now, so to resolve that one, what are the provisions should be provided? So this law or this act will explain about this dispute settlement. So main objective of this is it will give a provisions for investigation and settlement. That's all. It will give provisions for investigation and settlement of industrial disputes, and other purposes. So it will give industrial. So what type of investigation it will give? Okay, what type of investigation? So there should be one machinery, no? There should be one something should be there, no? So the act will tell that there should be a committee, there should be a joint committee. The members should be from both employers and employees. There should be a working committee or a joint committee having members from both parties, employers and employees always. Okay, and there should be one conciliation. That means a person, advocate appointed by a government, person or government appointed by a government should always be there. So he will act as a conciliator and the process is called as conciliation. And the third one is the provision of adjudication, means of labor court. There should be a provision of labor court or industrial tribunal. Okay. Now, how the dispute will come? Two cases will be there. When work is not given from the employer. First case, let us say when the work is not given from the employer. So what type of conditions are there? This is generally called as laying off. So when a employer cannot give work, when there is a shortage of coal, power, raw material, accumulation of stock, breakdown of machinery or natural calamity. So in these cases, at least there is a remedy given to the workers. So what it will tell, this act, Industrial Dispute Act, will tell that at least you should give 50% of their basic wages, 15% of the basic wages. So it will give the provision for that one. Now apart from that, labors, or they will go for strikes. So this provision, this act will also tell about the strikes and lockout from the workers. So what it will tell about lockout and strikes, at least they should give 6 weeks notice to the employer before going to strike. This is the very important provision made from this act. Okay, employees or workers or laborers cannot go to strike without notice, and that notice should be at least 6 weeks before. 6 weeks before. Okay, and after giving the notice also 14 days they come for work, they should come for work. This is the provision made it from this one. Okay, now what is the penal provision if they are not following? Other things are just informatory, the main thing is dispute settlement only. Okay, so penal provisions are, okay, 6 months imprisonment or 5,000 fine or 2,000 rupees per day fine. This is a simple provisions made from the this one dispute act. Next act is Payment of Bonus Act in 1965. What is the main objective here? To provide a statutory right, to the employees or to the workers to share the profit of the employer. If the company is getting a profit, then it should be shared to their employees. That is the provision from this Bonus Act. So where it is applicable? A factory where 10 or more persons are employed, or an establishment where 20 or more persons are working there. Okay, so like that it is there. For newly set up companies, for newly set up establishment, initial 5 years is exempted. Initial 5 years is exempted if it is not earning any profit. Okay, if it is earning profit, then new establishment can also give the bonus to them. So eligibility, what are the eligibility condition? An employee up to 10,000 per month salary is there, no? So he is eligible, and at least he should have worked 30 working days. At least he should work for 30 working days in the financial year. So what are the benefits he will get? Minimum bonus is 8.33% of their salary earnings. Maximum bonus is 20%. So minimum and maximum have been clearly given. When a person can be disqualified to get a bonus, when he is a fraud, riotous or violent behavior, he has conducted some theft or misconduct. So if his behavior is not good, then he may be disqualified from the bonus provision. Okay, so what is the penal provision for this one, for employer? So at least 6 months of imprisonment will be there. Okay, or 10,000, 1,000 rupees fine will be there. 1,000 rupees fine. The next act is Payment of Gratuity Act. Payment of Gratuity Act. This is generally obtained for a long-term service. This act will give the provision for the employers or the workers who are worked for a long service, who are worked for a very long service, and it will be at the end of their service, this act will be applicable. So objective of this act is to provide a reward, to provide a reward to the employees for long service at the end of their service. Applicability, any factory 10 or more workers, or establishment 20 or more workers are working. Okay, so like that it will give. Eligibility, what is the eligibility? Any person who is completed 5 years of service. Any person who is completed 5 years of continuous service, he is eligible for the gratuity at the end of their service. Benefits, how the benefits will be there? 15 days of wages for every completed year of service. 15 days of wages for every 1 year service. And maximum gratuity is up to 10 lakh they can get. Up to 10 lakh they can get. Now, how it is calculated gratuity? So monthly salary divided by 26 into 15 into number of years of service. If any misbehavior is happened from that employee, this gratuity can be forfeited. If gratuity can be forfeited if he is conducted any misbehavior. Okay.